Welcome back. It is Sunday, June 18th, and the MLB. Our two favorite picks are on. The way at the Austin, joined by Logan. Let's recap yesterday. Our cold streak continues. This is probably our worst cold streak we've ever had betting baseball over the past two plus seasons. My pick, the Mets plus 2.5, first five in the over, 3.5, first five, and the Mets clutched up in the bottom of the fifth to get it done. Now, looking at two picks, the Astros team total over 4.5. Should have just gone to the full game over, but the Astros had plenty of chances. If anyone showed up besides Jose Altuve yesterday, probably easily hits, but naturally does not. And then the Padres they soared under that. Blake Snell was carving them up, and not much you can do there. They just weren't seeing his pitches. Probably bet you the Padres score like 12 runs today just to put it in Logan's face, because that's been Logan's luck over the past couple weeks. It's been our luck with these past couple weeks. But look, it's a new day. We're rocking the same shirt, and nothing could go wrong. Now, we're going to switch up a little bit of momentum because recently we haven't been doing too hot, so I'm going first today, and let's dive into my pick. Now, I am wearing the octopus shirt. Logan had to join the journey that I am, because I have not lost a pick with the octopus shirt on all year long. So if I can take any superstition and work it, we'll do it. Now, I am 1-0, so the octopus could go to 1-1 today. But let's talk about my pick. I'm going to give you some pivots, and then you can talk, and I'll give it exactly what I'm liking today. Now, here's what I'm riding with. I'm riding with the Cardinals plus 2.5 in the first five, and the over 3.5 in the first five in the same game, minus 113 on FanDuel. This is the same game parlay. And to place this bet, I'll give a couple pivots in a second. To place this bet, you go to FanDuel, you go to the first five innings tab, and you will have their alternate run lines and alternate total runs. You take the ones on the screen, plus 2.5 for the Cardinals and the over 3.5 runs. Now, I honestly considered something wacky, which was taking both teams plus 3.5, and that came out to plus 118. But I'd rather stick to this one. Now, I gave a bunch of pivots yesterday, and all the pivots smacked. So for the people that said, I can't bet this exact same thing, I'm going to give you some pivots, and this is what you can do with it. Now, I like the Cardinals on the team total in the first five. I wish it was 1.5, but you have to take 2.5. So I don't really love the pivots as much as I did yesterday. I also don't mind the regular over at 5.5, but that is a touch. I mean, that's a high line at 5.5 for the over under. So if you want to take it at 4.5 to be a little bit safer, maybe parlay it with something else safe and go for that. But let's talk with these, because we've hit two of these same game parlays in a row, and I hopefully find a little bit of a groove here, and hopefully we can hit three in a row. But let's talk with this one, because I like the same game parlay because multiple pathways to victory here. I mean, the Cardinals just have to lose the first five by 2 or less, and we have to see 4 runs scored between two pitchers that I don't really think too highly of. And look, the Cardinals could lose the first five 4-2. They could win the first five 4-2. The Cardinals could go put up 4 runs, and the Mets could score 0. That also has potential. But let's talk about this one, and we're going to talk about Matthew Liberatore, who's going to start for the Cardinals. Now, he's not great. I won't lie to you. 5.14 ERA and a 1.57 WHIP. He's allowing a 277 batting average this season. And you look at his percentile: 7th percentile in expected batting average, 13th in K percentage, 9th in whiff percentage, 26th percentile in walk percentage. Look, his expected ERA is 6.76. I'm not coming out here and saying, hey, hammer Cardinals on the money line, because I do think he's going to give up some runs today. But I think the Cardinals will get him some run support. And I'll be the first to admit, I've said he's not great. You look at Wainwright yesterday, he hadn't been good either, and he was carving up. I mean, he had his longest outing against the Mets. And I'm not saying Liberatore's going to come out here with a 7-inning gem. I think he can at least try his best. And the Mets are 20th in MLB in batting average versus lefties. Liberatore is a lefty, and he's allowing actually only a 150 batting average versus left-handed batters. Now, this is a team in the Mets that, without Pete Alonso, they're starting a couple lefties in there. You're looking at Brandon Nimmo, Jeff McNeil, Beatty, Guillorme, our hero from yesterday. Those guys are all lefties. Well, I'm not saying all of them will be in the lineup today. Wouldn't be surprised if those top 3 are, because they kind of need them in there for production. But look, Liberatore's going to go out there. He's going to give up some runs, but you look at his most earned runs allowed on the season is 4. Look, if we can keep it hopefully less than 4, maybe 3 would be an ideal number, but I still think that he'll be able to at least manage this team. When I talk about a little bit home runs allowed, we'll talk about that in a second, why I like back in Liberatore instead of the guy that's on the other side, Carlos Cookie Carrasco. Now, Carrasco, he was looking at Liberatore's stats and laughing, but buddy, you haven't been much better. You're at a 5.71 ERA and a 1.46 in his percentiles, 11th percentile in expected batting average, 5th percentile in K percentage. And his starts this season, you've seen it, been up and down roller coaster: 5, 6, 2, 5, 1, 1, 4, and 2 earned runs allowed in his 8 starts this season. Look, if Carrasco comes out here and gives us 5 earned runs, pretty confident that we're going to win this bet. But while I'm not saying he's going to do that, I do think that the Cardinals have a talented enough lineup to make him pay. And guys like Carrasco and Liberatore, what they struggle with is honestly walking batters. They put a lot of batters on base, but when it comes to the end of the game, or when we get down to guys that are on base, the Liberatore has been limiting the home runs to a good portion. He's actually only allowed 1 home run this season in 21 innings pitched. Probably gives up 1 today because I just said that stat. You look at Carrasco on the other side, 8 home runs allowed in 41 innings pitched. She's allowed a home run in 7 of 8 starts. This is the Cardinals lineup that has firepower from 1 to 9. This is a team that can, if they get a couple guys on base, that could turn into a 3-run home run. That's how we cashed out yesterday with Guillorme hitting a home run. I don't trust the Mets offense a ton against a guy like Liberatore. Might walk some guys, but force them to get consecutive hits and hopefully not giving up the home run. Whereas a guy like Carrasco sometimes leaves some pitches right over the middle of the plate. And this team, while they might rest some guys, they got plenty of lineup power. They got plenty of depth. The problem with the Cardinals has not been scoring this season. It has been pitching. And I think the Cardinals can at least score some runs here today. Give us a good chance at cashing this one. And hopefully they win the first 5 with maybe 4 or more runs against Carrasco. But I really like the same game parlay. I know it's not as something everyone can tell, but I'm more concerned about getting our regular picks on a hot streak instead of, getting a pick that 100% of people can tell. I need a winner in the worst way. The bankroll needs it. Give me the Cardinals plus 2.5 in the first 5 and the Mets in the over 3.5 in the first 5 for this game. So it's minus 113. That's my favorite pick of the day. But Logan, hopefully your octopus shirt treats you well. Your ladder challenge failed yesterday. I know what it feels like, man. But what you got for the people today?
Yeah, let's touch on the ladder challenge for a second. First of all, Jose Ramirez, he had a nice little 9-game hitting streak in there. Anything I touch turns to an L these days, so naturally I ended that for him. You're welcome, buddy. But I'm going to have another fun bet today in the Dub Club and for our YouTube members. So I'm going to try it's going to be a hit streak challenge, $10 to win 10,000. When you call it a ladder challenge, Austin, you know it's cursed. So I'm not gonna do that. Just look out for that. I will post it when I do. Just a little $10 fun little wager. But we need to get the straight bets back on a roll, and I've been ice cold on these. So I got demoted to like the 6 or 7 spot. Austin's now batting leadoff, but I'm going to a first 5 pick, and I'm taking the Pirates plus 0.5 in the first 5 run line. Plus 102 odds on Barstool is currently your best value. Now FanDuel gives you minus 105. Obviously, you could play that one. DraftKings is giving you plus 1. I'm seeing at minus 130. I mean, you can do what you want with that. I do like the Pirates to either be tied or potentially leading through 5 innings in this one. I think they will be competitive underdogs today. If you're just new to betting baseball, my philosophy and the philosophy that everybody kind of like knows of is that Sundays are for the underdogs. If you take square favorites, you're really asking to get burned. I mean, there's some really, not safe favorites today to me in baseball, and you find value on underdogs because especially the way the Pirates lost yesterday, lifeless getting shut out. If you can't bring yourself to back the Pirates today, I completely understand. I mean, I've been ice cold, and you're like, Logan, this is a nasty pick. I gotta fade it. Whatever. You do what you need to do. I just appreciate you even watching this spiel. Let alone this whole cold streak. But I feel good about this one because Freddie Peralta is starting for the Brewers. You look at his numbers: 4.73 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. Peralta, he uses his fastball 50% of the time. He's a fastball guy. There are some good fastball hitters on this team like McCutchen and Brian Hayes that can definitely do some damage against Peralta. Pittsburgh only hitting 172 in their last 3 road games. That's a nasty batting average. But their season average is 245, which is more what I'm concerned about because in baseball, you have to be 1 game ahead of the trend. And eventually, some positive regression's coming because you're not going to hit below 200 on the road. That's just not – I'll say it. That's not how baseball works because, I mean, it's a law of averages game. And I really do think Pittsburgh will be due some offensive production today. You look at this Pirates team as well. 10th in strikeouts, 4th in walks drawn. Plate discipline will be very important against a guy like Freddie Peralta because, where he's locating his fastball is important. If his fastball is missed in the zone, you better not swing at it because that would be if it's up in the zone, not a strike, please don't swing at it today, Pirates. Now, who's starting for the Pirates today? It's Luis Ortiz. 4.64 ERA and a 1.76 WHIP. I'm not going to lie to you. He's a shaky pitcher, but I'm trusting the line in this one. Ortiz 4-1 and 3 earned runs in his last 3 starts. So it's kind of like a roller coaster. Austin mentioned the Kodai Senga roller coaster yesterday. Good start, bad start. Good start, bad start. I mean, his last one was a bad start. Could he be due a decent start? I don't need him to go out and pitch, 5 innings shutout baseball. I don't even think he's capable of that. But this Brewers offense, listen to me right now. They are a concern. They will, just when you start to trust them, they will put a knife into your back. Why? Because it's what they do year in and year out. His WHIP and expected ERA are concerned, but this Brewers team to me is just a giant red flag. They're hitting 226 at home this year. That's 29th in the majors. The only team worse than them is naturally the Oakland Athletics. Milwaukee, 28th in hits, 25th in runs. Don't let it fool you. That's what I'm saying. There's little consistency to this Brewers offense. They have back-to-back games of 5 runs scored. they usually, if you're looking at their game logs, they could follow it up with a 2 to 3 type game, a full game, scoring. That's what this offense is. It's a law of averages game, and I kind of think they're due a stinker, and that's just that's kind of how I'm calling my shot in this one. Ortiz doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. He just has to give us enough wiggle room to where we can get some hits and runs up on Freddie Peralta, make this a competitive first five. Because you know what, being a divisional game, I think people might take the Brewers for granted in this one. I think the Brewers might be taking the Pirates for granted, and this is when the Pirates like to show up, backs against the wall, a little adversity. I do like the Pirates in an underdog first five role in that one. But I also do want to mention a player prop lean I had. Luke Weaver of the Cincinnati Reds, over 2.5 earned runs. Look, Astros had their chances yesterday. Jose Altuve just absolutely was amazing. He almost backpacked us to a team total win himself, but they couldn't get it done. Luke Weaver, if you've ever watched him pitch, he's a really bad pitcher, and I just don't think there's any redeeming qualities. I think the Astros could have their way versus him today, so that's a player prop lean that I kind of do like. It's just not going to be official play because I can't even hit one pick, so why would I make two? That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But Austin, I feel good about our picks today. I think we're due some winners.
All right, Logan, I like the pick. I'm feeling good about the Pirates today. I feel good about my pick. Let's start to get into a hot streak. Maybe we'll go back to 3 picks tomorrow. But we need a winning day. Hopefully this is a 2-0 Sunday going into the new week. Hopefully you guys have a great Sunday. And I didn't mention at the top of the show, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. We certainly appreciate all you guys for watching the video. But Logan, let's have a 2-0 day. The fathers certainly need it. And if you want to bet Padres for the culture, go for it. But let's have a 2-0 day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.